For number 3, we're going to graph the function g of x. So we'll start by filling out this information. For the degree, if you were to multiply it all the way out, you would have an x cubed. So it is degree 3, which of course is an odd degree. The maximum number of turning points, it's 1 less than the degree. So at most, there's 2 turning points. And then our zeros, they just come from here. 2, 4, and 6. So we'll put those on the graph. 2, 4, and 6. All right, our end behavior, so we want to know what's happening to the left and to the right. So this is an odd degree, which means that the end behavior is opposite. Okay, so it's odd, and our leading coefficient is negative. So if it's an odd function with a negative leading coefficient, the left-hand end behavior is up, and the right-hand end behavior is down. So now that we know that, we can use that information on our graph. So we know that to the left, so from your leftmost zero, it's going up from there. And from the zero all the way on the right, it's going down. Now, in between here, we need to figure out what's going on. At most, there's 2 turning points. Now, I want to show you what this can't do. Like if we said, oh, maybe it turns here, but then we got to come back down and get that point. Then we have to come get that. Notice that's 1, 2, 3 turning points. That's too many. Okay, we can only have at most 2 turning points, which is why I think it's going to come down, turn, and then up and turn. And then there's the 2 turning points, or relative minimums and maximums. If you wanted to double check that, we could plug in numbers into our table of values like we did before. So we could plug in something like 3. If you plug in 3, you've got that negative. Plug in 3, that's a positive. Plug in 3, that's a negative. And plug in 3, that's a negative. So a negative times a positive times a negative times a negative is a negative. So this does, in fact, come down here. And then if you plugged in something like 5, that number's a negative. That would give you a positive and a positive. And that would give you a negative. And so then that would be positive. So you can also check these too. All right, let's check out this last one. So if we multiply this out, this would be a degree 2, which of course is even. At most, it's going to have 1 relative minimum or maximum. The zeros are -3 and -3, which is the same 0. And the end behavior, we're talking about the left and the right end behavior. This is an even function, which means they're the same. They're either both up or both down. Since we have a negative leading coefficient, that means they're both down. So on the left, it's going down, and on the right, it's going down. So that's what this looks like. We know that it's going down and down. It has 1 relative maximum, and there it is. So that's what this graph looks like. We'll talk about how to use Desmos to finish graphing off in the last video.